What if the biggest reason people never fall in love with you is because you're trying too hard to make them? Think about it. Almost everyone has experienced the same painful pattern. You give your time, your attention, your loyalty, and your heart to someone. You reply instantly. You make yourself constantly available. You do everything you believe a loving person should do. Yet somehow they slowly become colder, more distant, and less interested. Meanwhile, someone who appears to do far less somehow captures all of their attention. It feels unfair. It feels confusing. And it makes you wonder if love is simply a game that only certain people know how to play. But according to Robert Greene, it isn't luck, beauty, or money that creates irresistible attraction. It is a deep understanding of human nature. Human beings are not attracted by desperation. They are attracted by emotional value. And emotional value is never created by chasing. It is created by becoming someone impossible to ignore. This is where almost everyone makes their first mistake. They believe love grows through constant effort. In reality, attraction grows through emotional tension, curiosity, admiration, and the feeling that there is always something more to discover. The human mind has always desired what it cannot fully possess. It is why people become obsessed with unfinished stories, impossible dreams, and mysterious personalities. The imagination is far more powerful than certainty. The moment someone feels they completely understand you, a part of their curiosity quietly disappears. That doesn't mean you should manipulate people or pretend to be mysterious. Robert Greene never encourages fake behavior. He teaches something much deeper. People are emotionally drawn toward those who have built a meaningful life beyond the relationship itself. Think about the most magnetic people you've ever met. Chances are they weren't trying to impress everyone in the room. They weren't begging for attention or constantly seeking approval. They had purpose. They had confidence. They carried themselves with quiet certainty because their identity wasn't dependent on another person's opinion. That quiet confidence creates something incredibly powerful: scarcity. Not because they play games, but because their attention has genuine value. Most people unknowingly communicate the opposite. They make one person the center of their entire world. Every decision begins revolving around gaining that person's affection. Without realizing it, they slowly abandon the very qualities that once made them attractive. Their hobbies disappear. Their ambitions become secondary. Their emotional stability depends on someone else's text message. Robert Greene believed this is the fastest way to lose attraction because neediness silently communicates fear, and fear is never attractive. Confidence, on the other hand, communicates abundance. It says, my life is already meaningful. If you choose to become part of it, you'll add to my happiness, not become the source of it. That single mindset changes every interaction. Another truth few people understand is that attraction begins long before love. Long before someone says, I love you, they first experience admiration. They respect your discipline. They admire your purpose. They notice your emotional control during difficult moments. They become curious about the life you're building. Love is rarely the first emotion. Respect almost always comes before it. Without respect, attraction fades. Without attraction, love struggles to survive. This is why Robert Greene believed the most seductive quality isn't physical beauty, it is self-mastery. The ability to control your emotions when others lose theirs. The ability to walk away from disrespect without anger. The ability to remain calm when everyone else reacts emotionally. These qualities create something appearance alone never can. Unforgettable presence. And perhaps that is the greatest secret of all. The fastest way to make someone fall in love with you has almost nothing to do with making them love you. It has everything to do with becoming the kind of person they cannot stop thinking about long after you've left the room. Because people rarely fall in love with perfection. They fall in love with the way you make them feel whenever you're gone. If love were created through logic, relationships would be simple. You would list your qualities, prove your loyalty, and the other person would naturally choose you. But that has never been how human beings fall in love. Robert Greene explains that people make emotional decisions first and logical decisions later. They don't become attached because you've convinced them. They become attached because you've awakened something inside them that they cannot easily explain. This is why two people can meet the exact same person, yet one walks away unaffected, while the other can't stop thinking about them for weeks. The difference isn't appearance. The difference is emotional impact. Human beings remember feelings far longer than facts. They may forget the words you spoke, but they'll never forget how they felt in your presence. This is the foundation of attraction. Most people, however, make a critical mistake. They spend their energy trying to impress instead of trying to connect. They talk endlessly about their achievements, show off their intelligence, or constantly seek validation. But genuine attraction is never built on performance. It is built on emotional experience. Robert Greene observed that the most captivating people possess one rare ability: they make others feel seen. In a world where everyone is desperate to be heard, the person who truly listens becomes unforgettable. Think about it. How often does someone ask about your dreams, your fears, or your ambitions without immediately turning the conversation back to themselves? Very rarely. That is why deep attention has become so powerful. When someone feels completely understood, they naturally begin associating that feeling with the person who gave it to them. This is also why mystery plays such an important role in attraction. Human beings are naturally curious. The mind is drawn toward unfinished stories because it wants closure. Robert Greene often compares desire to a fire. It needs space to breathe. Reveal everything too quickly, and the fire loses oxygen. Let someone discover you gradually, and their imagination begins doing half the work for you. This doesn't mean pretending to be unavailable or manipulating emotions. It means allowing people to experience you layer by layer instead of giving them your entire identity in a single conversation. The strongest relationships are never built in a day. They grow through discovery. Another principle Greene highlights is emotional contrast. If every interaction feels exactly the same, the mind stops paying attention. But when someone brings excitement, calmness, humor, confidence, and depth into different moments, they become emotionally memorable. Think about the greatest storytellers in history. They don't keep the audience at one emotional level. They create tension, relief, surprise, and curiosity. Attraction follows the same pattern because the human brain is wired to remember emotional variety. This is why people often describe someone as interesting without being able to explain exactly why. They simply felt more alive around them. Perhaps the greatest misunderstanding about love is believing you must become perfect before someone can choose you. Robert Greene argues the opposite. Perfection often creates distance because it feels unreal. Authenticity creates connection because it feels human. Your imperfections, your quiet confidence, your passion for something greater than yourself, and your willingness to remain genuine even when it isn't popular make you far more attractive than any carefully rehearsed image. People don't fall deeply in love with perfection. They fall in love with someone who feels real. And once someone begins associating peace, excitement, and authenticity with your presence, attraction quietly begins transforming into something far deeper than simple admiration. If love were created through logic, relationships would be simple. You would list your qualities, prove your loyalty, and the other person would naturally choose you. But that has never been how human beings fall in love. Robert Greene explains that people make emotional decisions first and logical decisions later. They don't become attached because you've convinced them. They become attached because you've awakened something inside them that they cannot easily explain. This is why two people can meet the exact same person, yet one walks away unaffected, while the other can't stop thinking about them for weeks. The difference isn't appearance. The difference is emotional impact. Human beings remember feelings far longer than facts. They may forget the words you spoke, but they'll never forget how they felt in your presence. This is the foundation of attraction. Most people, however, make a critical mistake. They spend their energy trying to impress instead of trying to connect. They talk endlessly about their achievements, show off their intelligence, or constantly seek validation. But genuine attraction is never built on performance. It is built on emotional experience. Robert Greene observed that the most captivating people possess one rare ability: they make others feel seen. In a world where everyone is desperate to be heard, the person who truly listens becomes unforgettable. Think about it. How often does someone ask about your dreams, your fears, or your ambitions without immediately turning the conversation back to themselves. Very rarely. That is why deep attention has become so powerful. When someone feels completely understood, they naturally begin associating that feeling with the person who gave it to them. This is also why mystery plays such an important role in attraction. Human beings are naturally curious. The mind is drawn toward unfinished stories because it wants closure. Robert Greene often compares desire to a fire. It needs space to breathe. Reveal everything too quickly, and the fire loses oxygen. Let someone discover you gradually, and their imagination begins doing half the work for you. This doesn't mean pretending to be unavailable or manipulating emotions. It means allowing people to experience you layer by layer instead of giving them your entire identity in a single conversation. The strongest relationships are never built in a day. They grow through discovery. Another principle Greene highlights is emotional contrast. If every interaction feels exactly the same, the mind stops paying attention. But when someone brings excitement, calmness, humor, confidence, and depth into different moments, they become emotionally memorable. Think about the greatest storytellers in history. They don't keep the audience at one emotional level. They create tension, relief, surprise, and curiosity. Attraction follows the same pattern because the human brain is wired to remember emotional variety. This is why people often describe someone as interesting without being able to explain exactly why. They simply felt more alive around them. Perhaps the greatest misunderstanding about love is believing you must become perfect before someone can choose you. Robert Greene argues the opposite. Perfection often creates distance because it feels unreal. Authenticity creates connection because it feels human. Your imperfections, your quiet confidence, your passion for something greater than yourself, and your willingness to remain genuine even when it isn't popular make you far more attractive than any carefully rehearsed image. People don't fall deeply in love with perfection. They fall in love with someone who feels real. And once someone begins associating peace, excitement, and authenticity with your presence, attraction quietly begins transforming into something far deeper than simple admiration. If there is one lesson Robert Greene repeats throughout his work, it is this: the people who have the greatest influence over others are almost never the ones chasing attention. They attract because they possess something far more valuable than beauty or charm. They possess purpose. Look closely at the people who leave the deepest impression wherever they go. They aren't desperately trying to be liked. They don't constantly check whether someone has replied to their message. They don't spend every moment wondering if they're good enough. Their attention is invested in something greater than themselves. They are building a career, mastering a skill, creating something meaningful, or pursuing a mission that gives their life direction. Ironically, this independence becomes one of the strongest forms of attraction because human beings instinctively admire those who don't rely on others for their sense of worth. Most people unknowingly make the opposite mistake. The moment they become interested in someone, they begin sacrificing their own identity. Their hobbies disappear, their routines change, their ambitions become less important. Every decision starts revolving around one person. At first, they believe this proves love. In reality, it quietly communicates emotional dependence. Robert Greene believed nothing weakens attraction faster than the feeling that someone's entire happiness depends on you. Not because people are cruel, but because emotional dependence creates pressure instead of desire. Healthy attraction grows through freedom, not fear. Another secret of irresistible people is that they never seek validation from everyone they meet. They understand that not everyone will like them, and they're completely comfortable with that reality. This confidence is incredibly rare because most people spend their lives trying to avoid rejection. They change their opinions, hide their personalities, and become whoever they think others want them to be. But every time you abandon your true self to gain someone's approval, you lose a small part of the very qualities that made you attractive in the first place. Robert Greene reminds us that authenticity creates respect, and respect is the foundation of lasting attraction. Think about history's most fascinating personalities. Whether it was Cleopatra, Casanova, or other unforgettable figures, They weren't remembered simply because they were beautiful. They were remembered because they possessed presence. They entered a room with confidence, spoke with intention, and made people feel emotionally alive. They understood that attraction is never about saying the perfect words. It's about creating an unforgettable emotional experience. Modern relationships haven't changed as much as people think. Technology has changed the way we meet, but human psychology remains the same. People still crave excitement. They still admire confidence. They still remember those who make them feel understood. No amount of texting, social media attention, or carefully planned messages can replace genuine emotional presence. In fact, the more digital the world becomes, the more valuable real confidence, emotional intelligence, and authentic connection become. This is why the fastest way to become attractive is often the least expected. Stop asking, "How do I make someone love me?" Start asking, "How do I become someone whose presence naturally inspires admiration?" Because once you become deeply committed to your own growth, purpose, and emotional strength, something remarkable begins to happen. You stop chasing attention, and for the first time, people begin chasing yours. One of Robert Greene's most misunderstood ideas is that people value what they have to earn. This doesn't mean making someone suffer, playing mind games, or pretending not to care. It means understanding a timeless truth about human psychology. Anything that is always available eventually becomes ordinary. Think about the things people treasure most in life. They usually require patience, effort, and emotional investment. Love follows the same pattern. When you constantly seek someone's attention, reply the second they text, sacrifice your schedule, and make them the center of your universe, you unknowingly remove the emotional space where desire grows. Robert Greene believed desire survives on anticipation. It needs room to breathe. This is why emotionally intelligent people never rush intimacy. They allow trust, respect, and attraction to develop naturally. They understand that real connection cannot be forced. Another mistake people make is confusing emotional distance with emotional coldness. These are completely different things. Cold people push others away. Emotionally centered people simply refuse to lose themselves in the pursuit of love. They remain kind, present, and caring, but they never abandon their purpose or self-respect for someone's approval. That balance creates an irresistible sense of confidence. Human beings instinctively admire those who have control over themselves because self-control signals emotional strength. Imagine two people experiencing rejection. One immediately begs for another chance, sends endless messages, and refuses to let go. The other accepts the outcome with dignity, learns from the experience, and continues building a meaningful life. Which person leaves the stronger impression? Which person seems more valuable? Robert Greene believed true power begins the moment you stop fearing rejection. Because when rejection no longer controls your emotions, neither do the people capable of rejecting you. Another principle that quietly shapes attraction is emotional unpredictability. Not drama, confusion, or manipulation, but depth. Every interaction doesn't need to feel identical. Sometimes you're playful, sometimes thoughtful, sometimes deeply curious, sometimes completely focused on your own mission. These natural shifts keep relationships alive because they reflect genuine human complexity. Predictability creates comfort, but too much predictability slowly weakens desire. Robert Greene observed that the most fascinating people continue surprising others because they continue growing themselves. They never stop learning, evolving, and discovering new parts of their own personality. That personal growth naturally keeps relationships fresh. Perhaps the greatest irony of love is this: the moment you stop making love the center of your life, you often become far more attractive. Why? Because your confidence no longer depends on someone choosing you. Your happiness is no longer controlled by another person's opinion. Instead of asking, "How do I keep this person interested?" you begin asking, "Am I becoming the best version of myself?" That shift changes everything. Attraction is no longer driven by fear of losing someone. It is driven by the quiet confidence of someone who knows their value. And when a person carries that kind of energy, people don't simply notice them. They remember them long after they've gone. Most people spend their lives trying to create attraction without realizing that attraction and love are not the same thing. Attraction is a spark. Love is the fire that continues burning long after the excitement fades. Robert Greene explains that attraction captures attention, but character keeps it. Anyone can create a strong first impression, but very few can create an emotional connection that survives time, conflict, and uncertainty. This is why so many relationships begin with incredible passion, yet slowly fall apart. They were built on excitement instead of admiration. Excitement fades. Admiration grows. The people who remain deeply in love after years together usually share one important quality. They continue respecting each other. Respect grows when two people continue evolving instead of becoming comfortable. One of the greatest mistakes people make is believing that once someone falls in love, they no longer need to grow. They stop improving themselves, abandon their ambitions, and slowly become the same person every single day. Robert Greene believed stagnation is the silent enemy of attraction because human beings are naturally inspired by growth. We admire people who continue learning, challenging themselves, and becoming wiser through experience. Another powerful truth is that people rarely fall in love with perfection. They fall in love with authenticity. Many spend months pretending to be someone they believe others will admire. They hide their flaws, suppress their opinions, and constantly seek approval. But pretending is exhausting. Eventually the mask falls, and the relationship begins to change. Authentic people don't need to remember who they're pretending to be. Their confidence comes from accepting themselves instead of performing for acceptance. That honesty creates trust, and trust is the foundation of every lasting relationship. Robert Greene often reminds us that influence begins with understanding people, not controlling them. The same is true for love. The strongest partners don't try to change each other. They create an environment where both people naturally become better versions of themselves. They celebrate growth instead of fearing it. They communicate instead of manipulating. They inspire instead of controlling. That emotional freedom creates a bond far stronger than jealousy or possession ever could. Modern relationships often fail because people confuse attention with affection. A text message, a compliment, or constant communication may create temporary excitement, but they don't automatically create love. Love grows through shared experiences, mutual respect, emotional safety, and the confidence that both people are choosing each other freely rather than out of fear or loneliness. This is why someone can receive endless attention, yet still feel emotionally disconnected, while another person can spend only a few meaningful moments together and build a connection that lasts for years. In the end, the goal should never be to make someone obsessed with you. Obsession is driven by insecurity and fear. The real goal is something far greater, to become someone whose presence brings peace, inspiration, trust, and genuine happiness. Because when someone feels stronger, calmer, and more alive every time they're with you, attraction naturally begins transforming into love. At the end of everything Robert Greene teaches about attraction, one truth stands above all the rest. Now the fastest way to make someone fall in love with you is to stop making love the center of your life. Most people believe happiness begins the moment they find the right person. Greene believed the opposite. The right relationship begins the moment you become the right person. When your entire identity depends on someone else's attention, you become emotionally fragile. Every delayed reply feels like rejection. Every disagreement feels like the end. Every moment apart creates anxiety. But the person who has built confidence, discipline, purpose, and emotional control experiences love differently. They don't chase because they no longer fear being alone. They don't beg for affection because they already respect themselves. They don't manipulate because they understand that anything forced can never become genuine. This quiet confidence is one of the rarest qualities in today's world. While most people desperately seek validation through relationships, the truly magnetic person continues building a meaningful life whether someone chooses them or not. Ironically, this independence creates deeper attraction than endless attention ever could. Robert Greene believed that admiration always comes before lasting love. People admire those who remain calm under pressure, who keep their promises, who pursue meaningful goals, and who never abandon their values just to be accepted. Character is far more seductive than appearance, because character creates trust, and without trust, love cannot survive. Ask yourself this question. If someone removed your looks, your money, your status, and your social media tomorrow, what would still make you unforgettable? Your answer reveals your true value. Beauty fades, youth disappears, success rises and falls, but wisdom, confidence, emotional intelligence, humor, integrity, and purpose become stronger with time. These are the qualities that keep someone in love long after the excitement of the beginning has passed. Perhaps that is why so many people spend years searching for the one while ignoring the person they are becoming themselves. Robert Greene reminds us that the relationship you have with yourself quietly determines every relationship you build with others. If you constantly doubt your worth, you'll search for someone else to prove it. If you respect yourself, you'll naturally expect respect from others. And that single difference changes the people you attract into your life. So before asking, how can I make someone fall in love with me? So ask something far more powerful. Am I becoming someone worthy of lasting love? Third, because the answer to that question will shape every relationship you'll ever have. In the end, the greatest lesson isn't how to control another person's heart. It's how to master your own. The moment you stop chasing validation, stop fearing rejection, and stop depending on love to complete you, something remarkable happens. You become peaceful. You become confident. You become authentic. And those qualities create a presence that people naturally trust, admire, and remember. That is Robert Greene's deepest lesson about attraction. People don't fall in love because you desperately try to make them. They fall in love because your presence makes them feel more alive, more understood, and more inspired than they ever expected. And once you become that person, love is no longer something you chase. It becomes something that quietly finds you.